Okay, hello, what's up, everybody who is watching this? It is me again. Mother of two now. Here's one. Two is sleeping.
And here's one. It's me.
I just really quick want to pretty much update you.
Yeah. I'm talking to myself. And I'm talking to them.
Okay, so we'll start off with that morning of, or let's start off where I left off my last video, right?
No,
my last
my
video,
last-
I was 30. My last video, I was 37 weeks, and it was a Thursday. Every Thursday, I was another week. So it was 37 weeks. I was 37 weeks, and my last day of work, they had me scheduled until that Sunday, which was the 2nd. Bless you. What happened? It didn't come out?
I don't want to be loud when you talk.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so my last day of work was that Sunday, which would have been April 2nd. So that was my last scheduled day of work. My maternity leave, I chose to take it 2 weeks before my due date. My due date, for people who did not know, or didn't know, was April 20th. So I choose to take it as of April 6th was going to be this very first day, the start of my disability leave, my maternity leave. So I was planning on doing it 38 weeks, at the 38-week mark. So yeah, so my last day was that Sunday, so I had, the Monday, that week off, and it was just kind of just waiting till he decided to come. That Wednesday, I went grocery shopping and got like a bunch of stuff because I was just like, I don't know when he's coming, and then when he comes, we're not going to be able to, like, I am not going to really want to go anywhere, we're not going to really be able to go anywhere, well, I'm not going to really be able to go anywhere and do things and get things done, So, yeah, I was like just doing all kinds of stuff. My fiance, what was his schedule like that week? I think it was like his shorter week of work. He has like a short week and a long week. So whatever, that week of work, he only worked, I believe, just that Wednesday and Thursday. So, yeah, he worked Wednesday, and then Thursday he left to work. He leaves around 4 a.m. in the morning. And I remember I woke up like around the time he was leaving. I can hear him leave, and I was just super uncomfortable. So this is Thursday, April 6th, by the way. And I was just super uncomfortable, and I was just like feeling some like pain. I didn't really know what it was because I kept feeling this pain throughout my pregnancy, like every now and then. So it was just super uncomfortable, and it just hurt really bad. And so, that I just couldn't really go back to sleep. So after a while, I was like, maybe I should start to time this. And I don't even think I texted my fiance until like, I didn't want him to worry or freak him out or whatever. So I think not until about like 6 a.m. or something is when I texted him, because it was still going on from 4 to 6 a.m. and it felt like it was just getting closer and closer, and it was just so strong. It was just, I was so uncomfortable, and it hurt so bad, and I was just like, I can't, like, this is just, I don't know what's going on. And so I texted him like, hey, good morning, and then so right away he was kind of like, are you okay?
Yeah.
What's going on? I'm like, well, I've been feeling some like pain. He's like, should I leave? Like, what's going on? I was like, I'm just kind of trying to time it to see what's going on. I was like, but it does hurt really bad, like, I don't know. And then he's like, well, let me know, I can leave right now. And then finally, like, probably like an hour-ish after that, like, texting him or whatever, I think I told him, like, yeah, just come, because it's hurting really bad, and I don't even know, it's not going away. I told him it's been happening since 4 in the morning, and he's like, that's a long time, And I was just like, yeah, it's not going away, and I don't I can't really handle it. It just seems like it's getting stronger and stuff. So he was like, okay. So I believe he left work at, I think like 7 a.m.
General.
I think he left around like 7 a.m.
7, 8 a.m.
Yeah, and then he's like an hour away, so he came straight here. And I still wanted a shower and stuff, and to see if that was gonna help too with any of the pain. So he got here like right when I was getting out of the shower, and you know, he can see I wasn't feeling good. He can see me. I was stopping and like, you know, like I had to breathe through it, and it was just very painful. And so he got all the bags in the car right away and stuff. And yeah, a little bit after that, we took off. We got to the hospital, I think around like 9 something. I'm not even sure. I'm bad with the time frames. We got there in the morning sometime, like before 10 a.m. And, you know, they get me on, you know, I have to like register and do all that stuff. And then they take me into the little room where they just kind of monitor you, and they check to see if you are having contractions and to see if you're dilated at all, see if it is real labor. So I went in, and yeah, I was still feeling the pain, but I did kind of notice, like once I was laying down on the bed, I was like, they did seem like they were coming further apart, and I was like, dang it, like that's not a good sign. Because at this point I'm like, let's just do this, let's get this over with, you know, like let's have this baby. So once it kind of seemed like they started to like get further apart, I was like, what is going on? Like, great, you know. But she did check me for dilation, and I was 3 centimeters, so I was like, all right, like this is happening, like they're probably gonna keep me, because for my daughter, I believe they kept me at I think it was like 3.5, and they were like, okay, you know, and they kept me. But no, the doctor ended up coming in, and the doctor was like, hey, yeah, hi, you know, your contractions are kind of all over the place. He's like, so we're gonna go ahead and send you home. And that's like the last thing you want to hear, you know. I'm just like, I was like so irritated. My fiance looks at me like, uh-oh, you know. He knew I was probably mad, and I was just like, okay, like that's great. So whatever, we came home, and I was just tired. I tried to take like a nap on the couch. I think I might have for a little bit. My contractions were all over the place. Yeah, they were just like hitting me really hard, but then they would like, I would go like a half hour or 40 minutes without feeling one, and then I would get one again, and it was just very annoying, you know. My fiance said, well, how are you feeling, like, you know, and I'm like, I don't know, like it was just like coming and going. I kept trying to do stretches and stuff. I kept having to go to the bathroom, and I remember they said, obviously, if you are bleeding or if your water breaks, come in right away. So I kept going to the bathroom, like, is there blood? Is there blood? Like, can I go back? Can I go back? And there was never any blood, so I was just like, I want to get this over with, like, I want this baby out already, you know. So there was never any blood. I never felt a gush or anything, so I was just like, my water didn't break with my daughter, so I have no idea what that feels like. So I know sometimes they say it could be like a trickle, it could be like if you peed yourself type of situation. I really don't know, so I didn't know what to expect. So I kept going to the bathroom to see if anything had came out, and there was never anything, but I kept having to pee. And then finally, I believe around 4, like around 3:30-ish, 4, I started to feel them, and I noticed that they started hitting. They were really strong, and they started to hit. They felt a lot closer together than they had been feeling. So I started to time them. I was like, well, let's start to time them again, and I'm gonna try to be a little more accurate this time. About like 4:40 or so, and that's when I was just kind of like, yeah, we need to go, like we need to leave, you know, because we still live far from the hospital. We still live like 30 to 40 minutes away from the hospital. So I was like, yeah, let's go, because I can't handle this, and I was not looking forward to the car drive. Did I say that right? Car ride. The drive to the hospital. I wasn't looking forward to the drive. The car drive. What? Anyways. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to the ride to the hospital. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is 30 minutes of being stuck in the seat with the seatbelt on and just not being able to move. Like, I mean, I don't know, when you're feeling those pains, I just don't even know. I don't know if I want to, get down like on the ground, like my hands and knees. I don't know if I need to stand. I don't need to be stuck in the seat for 30 minutes. Ugh, dealing with the pain. I mean, it was awful. It was just awful. I was like grabbing onto the handle on the top of his car, and it was like even worse when we would pull up like or be stuck at a red light and there's like cars right next to us, and I'm over here like and I'm like, my head's back and I'm like punching, like the roof of his car, and I'm like, like moving around, and you can just not making very pleasant faces, and I'm just like, how embarrassing, like if the people look over and they're just like, what's wrong with this lady? Yeah, we got back to the hospital, and then I had to do like, they had to like register me in again, whatever nonsense, I don't know, and then took me back to the little room again to monitor me. And yeah, the girls are like, oh, hi, you're back. And I'm just like, and I'm like feeling it. So even as soon as I got up to the counter to talk to them, I immediately dropped to the floor because I was feeling a contraction. And I was just like, hold on, and I dropped to the floor. They didn't even say nothing. They were just like, whatever. I mean, I guess they're like used to it, but I don't know. I was expecting like a little like, you okay, hon? Or how are you doing? Like, do you need something? Like, but I guess they were just like, yeah, whatever. She'll be fine. She just dropped to the floor. She's good. Like, the counter's tall. I'm short. The counter's like here, and I mean, I just went, I couldn't see them. I was just laying on the floor. I was just like on the floor, just like for a good while. And then I just kind of popped back up. So, yeah, they wanted to see if I can pee some more inside of a cup or whatever. And I told them, like, yeah, I can try. So I waddled myself over to the restroom they had right there, and I'm feeling contractions in there. That was just terrible. So, I mean, it took me forever just to pull down my pants, to see if I can pee, because I would feel a contraction and I just had to stop, and I was just like, I can't. I just couldn't get pee out. I think I was like scared to attempt to try to push to get like some pee out, or I don't know what was going on down there. I didn't know what the heck was happening. I was just like, whatever, I can't pee. Like, they asked if I could. I said I'd give it a shot. It just ain't happening. Just like, I'm sorry, I can't get any pee out. And they were like, okay, that's fine. Just go ahead and go back to the room, the little, room you were in. It's not even a room. It's just like a little curtain over a bed. And, get undressed or whatever. And I was like, okay. So I made my way over there. It was difficult because I kept feeling contractions. Yeah, so I got into the little room with the curtain, and I got undressed, and I put the gown on, and I'm like, getting on the bed, and I kind of got on the bed, and I'm feeling a contraction again. And, so I'm kind of like on my side, and I have kind of like one leg up. I got on the bed, and I'm like laying on my side, and I don't even remember everything. But she got the monitor around my belly. I don't even remember what happened. I just remember being on my bed, and she was telling me to lay back because I was on my side, and she needed me to lay back on my back so she can check me for dilation to see if I had progressed, obviously, at all. But I was feeling contractions, so I was like, wait. And so I was just moaning and groaning through that contraction, and the nurse was just standing there waiting. And I felt a lot of pressure, and and then just gush. And the nurse was like, oh, okay. And I'm just like out of it, and I was just like, oh. And I remember telling her, and I was like, oh, so that's what that feels like. And she kind of giggled, and she's like, yeah. But you can just see she just seemed a little panicked. And she was like, okay, well. And I think she stepped out of the curtain. She kind of moved the curtain, and she was telling the ladies at the desk, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think she pretty much just told them, like, hey, like, her water just broke. And they're like, oh, okay. She pops back in, and, she proceeds to tell me, just letting you know, and now that that's happened, your contractions are going to start to feel much stronger. Yeah, so after that, after my water broke, it was just chaos. It was just chaotic. I think she was just like, do you have anybody here with you? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, my fiance. She's like, let me go get him. She goes, brings him in. She was like, I need to check you. She checked me, and I was at 7. But once I heard her say 7 centimeters, I was just like, I'm not getting no freaking epidural. Like, it ain't happening. That's it. Like, But I kept asking. So after that, you know, that nurse comes back in, another nurse comes back in. They're trying to get the IV in my arm. They're trying to like unhook me. They're just within all that going on, I puked. And I might have gotten some on the nurse. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know, and she said, it's okay. And then they bring me like a little barf thing, all late. That was the only time I barfed. I was like, well, don't need that anymore. It was just chaos. And then, yeah, they eventually that, okay, like, you know, we need you to lay back, put your like hands in or whatever. And then they started rolling me to like a labor room. And, you know, I'm over here just like screaming and hollering. Like, it was quiet when I got there, and then after I got there, it was just chaos. It was just chaos. Like, and you can hear it in the nurses too. I think if I didn't hear it in the nurses, or you didn't see the panic in them, which I guess I should better explain. Like, maybe they weren't being panicked, but they were rushing, because I'm assuming they do this all the time. This is their job, so they probably know how fast things can progress. So I think they were in a rush as compared to like panic. Me, it was very chaotic, and I can see, you know, nurses here, nurses there, like they were just popping up out of nowhere. You can hear them on the phone. Where's the midwife? We need the midwife, you know. And then I'm confused, like, why do you need a midwife? Like, where's the doctor at? But apparently, I guess they don't always have the doctor there, so they use midwives. I don't know, but I kept hearing them calling, making phone calls every little while. They kept, you know, and they're asking me if I feel pressure, and I'm like, yes, I feel pressure. And I was kind of like pushing, like my leg was like up still on the bed, because that's the only way I felt comfortable. And they just kept telling me, like, don't push, like, and then where's the midwife, like, we need her here, blah 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 blah, you know. And they're like getting me to my room. They, you know, pushing me through the hallway at this point. So I got into the room, and I'm on that bed still, but they're trying to get me into the other bed inside that room, the labor bed, I guess. So yeah, they were just like, we need to get you over to the other bed. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I just felt like there was no possible way. Like, I can't. I was just like, I can't. And they're kind of, we cannot have you deliver on this bed. You need to get over to the other bed. You know, my fiance was like, come on, babe, like, come on, let's do this, you know. And then so he's kind of grabbing me, and then they're kind of grabbing me, and I'm like, you know, I was just like, I just felt like I could not. And so I was like, okay. And then finally, like, I don't know if I counted to 3 or what. I was like, okay. And then I, like, you know, got over to the bed. And I remember being on my side still. That's just the only way I felt comfortable, was being on my side. I did not want to be on my back. And there they are again, calling, where's the midwife? Where is she? Like, you know, and I felt like I had to push, you know, and then they're like, don't push. And I'm just like, don't tell me not to push, because I am going to push. Like, midwife or no midwife, I'm about to push this baby out. And then finally, with like, in like a minute or so, she rushes in. She's like, I'm here. You know, and they were like, okay. And then they all started attending to her. What do you need? So from my understanding, it sounded like she just got on the clock, is what, like, I was hearing, because she wasn't even in like scrubs or like an outfit or anything yet. And they were like, what do you need? Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, my shoes. I don't want to get my shoes dirty. So they started to put like the little things on her shoes. And then she was putting on gloves. She said, okay, hon, like, my name is blah, blah, blah. I don't remember her name. You know, she's like, I'm going to help you, you know, to deliver the baby, blah, 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 you know. And she's like, I need you to, you know, breathe. And she's talking to me. I don't remember everything she was saying. She's like, breathe, small pushes, you know. And then they needed me on my back. So I had to get on my back. And then she goes and she's like checking me and stuff. And she said, okay, hon. I think I did yell out at one point. It's so embarrassing now. But at the time, I don't care. You know, I don't care what I'm saying. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't know what's happening. I'm just in pain. And I just want the kid out. You know, like. But I did scream out at one point. Like, I think I'm going to poo. And wow, like, it really does feel like you're going to poo. And they're like, no, hun, that's the baby's head. And I was just like, oh. Guess I should have put 2 and 2 together. But I just kind of wanted everybody, because you can poo giving birth. So I kind of wanted everybody to be prepared, because I didn't know if I was going to poo or not. Like, sometimes you don't know. And it felt like I had a poo. But it was a baby's head. And I did not poo, thank the Lord. But, you know, I was just like, well, I might as well prep them because might as well prepare them because that might be what's happening right now. But no, it was the baby's head. And I was like, oh, well, let's get this going. Like, all right, well, let's push this kid out then. But yeah, she's like, they're telling me to do small pushes, and I'm just thinking like, I don't got time for small pushes. Like, I just need him out. Obviously, at this point, I did not get no epidural. There was no time for no epidural. This is all within minutes, okay? I'll give you guys a time frame right now. But this is just, I mean, it's crazy. It feels like so much, but it just happens so quick. Yeah, so no epidural, and I like knew that was happening when she said 7 centimeters, but I just didn't want to believe it. It was just like, maybe there's still a chance, but no. So I was like, I ain't pushing this baby out. And at that point, yeah, I'm like, let's just get him out. Like, I don't want to, if I can feel him and he's there, like, let's go. Because the sooner he's out, the sooner I'm out of this pain. So she just kept saying little pushes, you know, we don't want you to tear. And I was just like, I don't even care at this point. So I was just pushing however I was pushing. And then, yeah, I just don't even remember. But the baby just came out. So, yeah, they put baby on me. And then, you know, I see the midwife, like, obviously the whole umbilical cord's attached and everything. And I see her messing with it. And she's like, kind of just, it was just gross because you can feel it. It's giving me chills. You can feel it, like, down there. And it's, like, literally, I mean, the umbilical cord's, like, a long, you know, thing. And so, yeah, you can feel it. Like, she's, like, there's, like, a string hanging, like, a big, thick string hanging out of you. And you can feel her. I could feel her, like, messing with it because she was pulling it. So it's moving around. And I can feel it, like, moving in between my legs. And I'm like, ugh. It was just so uncomfortable. And she's like, okay, hun, now we need to go ahead and deliver the placenta. And I'm just like, what? And she's like, so when you can, give me one last big push. And so she's holding onto the umbilical cord. And I'm just thinking, okay, like, let's, if this is, like, the last step, then let's do this. Okay, I have to come over here because that girl keeps interrupting. I don't even know how much of this is, like, good footage, too. And she's gonna follow me in here, watch. Here she comes. And so, yeah, I push, and she's kind of just tugging on the umbilical cord, and yep, out comes the placenta. And that was the weirdest feeling. Ugh. It was, like, the grossest, weirdest feeling, but most satisfying feeling ever. I think satisfying in the sense of it's finally over, you know? Like, it came out, and I just, like, I just felt like I could breathe, and I was like, oh, like, and I just gasped, and I was like, wow, you know, and I think they all kind of, like, giggled, you know, because they just seen that I was just, like, I felt a lot more, you know, I felt a lot more relief after that came out, and I just felt so much better, and I was able to just lay there with my baby, and yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, after that, it's all the basics. They had to go, and, you know, my fiance went and he cut the umbilical cord, and then a little while later they go and they have to check you, and they have to, like, push on your stomach to get everything out, you know, make sure you're all clear and clean. That's the worst too. That's just awful. Like, I kept grabbing the nurse's hands, like, like, no, you know, like, trying to stop them, and they're like, hon, like, we need to do this, you know. And I'm just like, I know you need to do it, but, like, it's just my reflex to stop them because I'm in pain, like, it hurts. But yeah, they had to come and do that every now and then. That was awful too. Ugh. But, you know, it's all done and over with now. The thing, let me give you guys like a breakdown, like a time frame now. So we left my house around like 4:40 or something like that, and it's about like 30 to 40 minutes to the hospital. So we got to the hospital about, let's say, like 5:30ish. And then, you know, I had to do like some of that like paperwork stuff. That didn't take long. And then I had to go into the little room where they can monitor you and all that stuff. So literally within 30 minutes is when I had the baby. He was born at 6:09 p.m. So yeah, 5:30 to 6:09 p.m. And yeah, it was quick. It was very quick. I told my fiance, you know, and everybody, I was like, wow, any longer, if we would have stayed at home a little bit longer, my water would have broke in his car, or depending how long we would have stayed at home, it would have broke at home. And right after my water broke, I mean, think about it, right after my water broke, it was literally within minutes. I think he said he's seen a paper, like with a time, or he's seen something with the time on it when he came into the little room, like where my water had broke. And it said, I think it said like 6:02. So right after my water broke to when I had him was like, yeah, just minutes. That was just super, super close. So, wow, yeah, imagine that. Yikes. My water would have broke in his car or here at the house. Yeah, I would have had the baby here at the house or in the car. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy how that stuff happens. And just how quick everything goes. Just the whole experience. I mean, it was just so crazy, and it was much different than my daughter's, birth. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole labor and delivery process. Don't really think there's anything else about that. So he was born April 6th, so obviously on May 6th he turned a month old. We're already gonna go on 2 months. June 6th will be 2 months old. He looks like a little bald old man, but he's cute. He's super cute. Yeah, so I got baby boy now and baby girl, and we're just been here chilling at home, just taking it day by day.
Mom, are you talking about me and baby brother?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep, I got 2 babies now, huh?
Yeah.
I got 3 babies. So her dad's one too.
Me?
Sometimes.
I'm not a baby no more.
You're not a baby no more, huh? You're a big sister. Yeah.
Tell them that I'm a big sister.
She's a big sister, guys. She's not a baby no more. But anyways, I'm gonna stop it there. Hopefully this video isn't too long. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna try to be uploading more frequently, but we will see how that goes. So if anybody's still stuck around to the end, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.